to invite Nick Palermo, one of our elders, part of our campaign committee as well, to give you an update, share with you what's on his heart.
Weekend update number 3.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been thinking this week in the scriptures of all the impossible situations the disciples got in, didn't have faith, and like on the boat when the storm's going and Jesus calms the storm and he goes, "Where's your faith?" Feeding the 5,000, we don't have anything here, send them away to the towns. You feed them. Well, how can we feed them? Kid comes with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Here's 5 loaves and 2 fish. What can that do? Feeds 5,000. Where is your faith? We are in the middle of something where every day, that's the question to us. Where is your faith? It is impossible when we look at it from our mindset. If we look at that, we will be discouraged. We will be negative. We will say it never can be pulled off. Why did we start this? Or we look at God, who's already brought us this far, which is amazing. And he's got great things in store to come. I was in a building project. I'm pretty excited about this because I know exactly what this is. And I am excited about the miracles that God is going to do. I want to talk about belonging. Part of what I'm doing here each time I come up is to give us vision for what this building can be. And always remember, it's not about a building, it's about people. Last week we heard Tim from our youth group, and we see just a little snippet of what's going on with our youth group, how God is at work. The building just means a place that's great for them with more kids, more that we can do in our community. One of the groups of people, in terms of belonging, high school kids, by the way, really need the sense of belonging. We have a culture where most people don't feel they belong anywhere. And high school kids probably are near the top of that, where they feel that. The place of belonging. I have worked for, 35 whatever years of my life with kids with special needs, intellectual and physical disabilities. Of all the groups in our society that probably are on the scale of not belonging, it's them. They're not included in our culture, they're not invited, they're not welcome. That might sound extreme, but here's some statistics that are kind of mind-blowing. There are over 700 million people in the world with a form of a disability. If it was a nation, it would be the world's 3rd largest nation, and it would lead the world in homelessness and poverty. Let that sink in. 18 million people in the world need wheelchairs that do not have them. 15% of the teen population has a disability. And we ask, where are they? That's the point. Hidden away a lot of times. Places we don't go to, places we don't see. Now here's all that stuff, here's the point that's the most important. Less than 10% of churches in the United States embrace people in some kind of ministry with disabilities. I have spent my life with lots of families, and I can tell you, this is not a kind of that happens once in a while type of thing. I have talked to Christian after Christian parent with a child with disability who has heard things like this. We don't have a place for your kid, we don't know what to do. He's making noises, you probably need to find another place. It's real stuff. Can't receive the sacraments because she won't know what they really mean. It's one thing that our culture is not inviting, but for the Church of Jesus Christ to not be inviting. And I think that what we have to understand, I have to understand, is that people with disabilities, and we look at Matthew 25, it's Jesus who comes to enter the doorway. And either we receive or we turn back. So we had a building project go on, a club room for kids. And I want to introduce to you one of my dearest friends in my life, Adon Bustos, right here. Come on, Adon. I call him Adon. It's Adon, and he's got the correct way to pronounce it. When he introduced himself 3 years ago as Adon. And so I met him when he was 10 years old. I won't say how old he is now, but that was 29 years ago. I have a book on our ministry. He's in chapter 2, which he resents completely, but he was not chapter 1. But we were friends and we were involved in our ministry for a number of years before we started our building project, a club room. And I'm going to have him tell you a little bit about what a building meant for him and his friends.
Well, first, I just want to say thank you for having me today. And for you guys to have a building like this, just how I felt, it was very exciting because, we had a place to go and hang out and just do whatever. Like one of the first things that we did over there at the building, we had a Nick's Corner job. We watched movies and had a big barbecue. Because a lot of the guys that were there back then,
Tell us what it was.
like
The movies and the barbecue.
we watched all three aliens in the same day.
All night long.
And barbecue steaks. And that's a lifetime memory right there. I'm never gonna forget.
One of the things that Em asked me when we forget the building was, hey, we'll have a refrigerator in it? Can we eat food there? Can I bring a date there? And the answer was, yes. Yes, you can. Because you belong. Could you just also talk a little bit about, just in general, what kinds of things go on? It's called the Lighthouse. What kinds of things go on at the Lighthouse during the year?
Like movie nights, different events, parties, birthday parties, any kind of party you want. Clubs, people go there to watch football, basketball, things like that. It's fun.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Adam. Okay. So, so that was, we built that in 2007. So it's, I remember that when we finally got it built, and I was in club one day and it's packed with kids. I'm in the back. And the building project for me had been really tough. There's no sugarcoating how challenging a building project is. And there was times I went, was this worth it? And then I sat in the back, or stood in the back and watched kids sing, and I remember with their hands raised to Jesus. And I went, yes, this place to belong was worth it. That's only one thing we're talking about. When we talk about this building, there's multiple types of groups of people that need to belong. We know that I was really stuck with the Vacation Bible School, that there was 35 on the waiting list we had to turn back. Wouldn't it be a great deal if any kid, adult, anyone that needs to be a part of our community, wants to be a part of our community, enters in here, has a place to belong. And that's what this is all about. Creating belonging in a culture that has no belonging. And we can be the church that just signifies it. And when I speak about kids with disabilities, we can be a model church in Ellendon Valley that says families and kids with disabilities belong, but everyone belongs. So let's keep praying. Let's keep faith. Let's ask God, like I told you a couple weeks ago, I'm asking God to give Sue a pile of money because I want to give it here. Let's ask God for funds that we have no way of knowing where they could come from. And let's watch God do a miracle in our midst. Amen. Amen.